Alright, so in this video, I'll be going over how to fix the high idle problem when you do a 1ZZ throttle body swap. So if you look at the stock throttle body, there isn't really much of an opening on the default idle setting. And then you look over here on the default for the 1ZZ, and it's open a lot more. So it's open more coupled with the larger size, and that is why the 1NZFE and the Yaris revs so high when you first start it. And then after like a minute or two, it idles down to the correct RPMs. The computer compensates. So I've cleaned this one up. This one was all corroded. I pulled it from Kenny U-Pull, and I took the epoxy off of here. They have this screw covered in epoxy. You can see it right here on my throttle body. Took a lot of Dremel work, but it is a torque screw, and it's very easy to strip. So you got to make sure that you get all that glue off of there. Find something to dissolve it with. I think Goof Off will. It's petroleum based, or some gasoline. I don't know. I just Dremeled it away. I learned my lesson. I kind of stripped mine out a little bit. But you use one of these little torques. The camera will focus. And it ain't gonna focus. I think the default throttle position for this is like 18%, and then this one is like 16%. So after some experimentation, like a few hours, because the computer has to learn, I found the optimal position. I have a little code reader here, and I'm in live data. The car is in the on position, but the engine isn't running. I'm just doing this to show the throttle position. It's at 15.3% throttle. And if you look down in there, you can see that's not open very much. Barely open at all. It'll start around 1,000 RPMs, which is pretty much normal for any car. It'll rev just a little higher than idle on first start, and then it'll drop down to around 700 to 750. You'll have to back the screw out right there. Yeah, it's kind of mangled, but I made it work. That is a lot farther out than my other throttle body. See, it's like really low in there. And go back over here for reference. There we go, right there. You want to loosen that. And keep an eye on your code reader for your throttle position. Anything between 15 and 15.5 is good. Don't go any lower or the engine will stall. It took a long time for me to figure this out, because it takes a bit for the computer to learn. But I'll put the air box back together and give the car a start, and you can hear it. I'll pause it real quick. Alright, air box is all back together. That's tightened, it's all good. Give it a crank. Here. Move this stuff out of the way. I'll have to go to RPMs. I'll have to exit and then go back to live data. RPMs right there. It doesn't sound like it's going to throw a rod into orbit. When I first put the throttle body on, before the computer did a basic learn of it, it revved to 3,000 RPMs every start, and then after like 2 minutes it would go down to 1,000. It threw a check engine light for high idle, but it'll slowly idle down to around 700 to 750. Yeah, it's slowly going down. So for those of you that live in colder climates like I do, you do not want your engine revving like that on a cold start. Not in below zero temperatures. Because I live in Maine, the leaves are already starting to turn, days are starting to get cooler, winter is right around the corner. And I was going to throw my stock throttle body back on because I don't want to wreck my engine. But I figured I'd try to play with the screw a little bit. And, well, I figured it out. I'll share the knowledge with all of you. Enjoy the 1ZZ throttle body. It sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.